everyone, Tina Dillman here. I just want to apologize ahead of time for recording in this location. I tried from a different location earlier and my phone would not upload. So here I am in this tiny little space, but I'm going to try to make it work. Anyway, my project is on crocheting. I chose to learn to crochet. I'm not sure that I thought that I made that right choice at the beginning of this, but that's what I did. So I just wanted to, it's going to be really hard for me to show you. My plan was to show you a few stitches in crocheting, so I'm going to try in this tiny little angle to try to hold it up in front of the camera. So I'm sorry, I apologize. I know I look fumbly here, but it's not exactly what I had planned. But anyway, so in the main steps of crocheting, you would go to any store that has a craft department, go in and pick out your yarn, keeping in mind yarn thickness and texture and what you want to make, be it a scarf or a hat, blanket. There's a lot of different options, and then when you're buying your yarn, you want to make sure that you're getting the right hook size, which is all stuff that I was new to. So here's the hook that we ended up getting. I think that's probably backwards for you, but so just a little hook and some thinner yarn. My project was to do a scarf. So here's, sorry again for the angles, not ideal. This is the scarf that I ended up doing. We did this thin in the middle design, so when it goes around the neck of the little one, it's not all bunched up in her jacket behind her neck, and then it's wider down here on the bottom to cover her chest. So anyway, I'm going to try to show you a couple of stitches here. So kind of I'm in the middle of this row here, and you put your hook in here, and then you would yarn over, and then this is really difficult to do it this way, and then you would pull through your first loop. Oh, well, I don't have two loops there, so I'm teaching you wrong anyway. Okay. So here's our second. There we go. So then we do the yarn over, pull through the first one, and then we pull through the second one, and then we go after the next stitch in line. And again, really weird angle here. So I just kind of left this one undone on the end because I wanted to be able to show you guys just a few little stitches as I was finishing this project. Like I said, different thicknesses create different projects. Go to the store, you pick out your yarn, you make sure that you have a hook that goes with it. There is second, this, on the packaging of the yarn, it shows you some of the different size hooks and stuff that you need and some of the different projects that you can make. The hook suggestion goes along with the project or the design that they have on the front. I know there's a glare there, I'm sorry. So we started really simple. I say we, I taught my daughter along with me, and we have picked up something that we actually both like doing. She's working on her own scarf right now. She chose some thicker yarn and a bigger hook, and we'll see how that turns out for her. But we're going to go on and answer some of these questions. It says, describe the craft and how and why I chose it. A lot of family members do crocheting and knitting and stuff, and it's something I've always kind of been interested in, so I thought, well, it's a good opportunity to go ahead and try it. My experience learning and completing the craft was extremely frustrating at first. I watched YouTube videos, I could not figure out how to hold the yarn the way they said. So they were saying to twist it around your pinky here and weave it up in here and hold it out here, and I couldn't do this stuff. This didn't work for me. So I adapted and I made my own way, which is something that we would teach in therapy anyway. So I thought that was kind of interesting for me to not be able to grip the same way that they were teaching. I had to make my own way. So that's what we do. We make it work. Was it easy or difficult? It was definitely difficult at first. It became easier. Still not very good at it, but I am definitely going to continue to try. The two most challenging steps that I encountered were counting the stitches. They do teach you to make sure that you count your stitches as you're going across. And I would forget to count, and I would just end up somewhere else, and then I'd have to take out a bunch and start all over again. And how firm to hold your yarn. So if you hold it really tight, you make your stitches really tight, and then it's hard to get your needle or your hook back in these little spots. And I was struggling until I realized what I was doing wrong. The final project. So again, I went with an unorthodox method. I'm going to try to hold it up. So it is definitely lopsided, but the thin in the middle there, and then these thicker parts to cover a little more in the front. So I'm pretty impressed with it. I've not actually ever seen anything like this, but I thought that it would be effective, and it's cute. So, and I've got one of the little ones that wants to wear it, so I'm happy. A reflection of my social and cultural background. Like I said, my grandmother, family members, my mom, a lot of family members do it. So I don't want to say any like major cultural background, but it is part of our family. A lot of people have done it in the past. I want to say that most of them were doing it for being cost effective, making pieces like scarves and hats and stuff like that for your kids in the wintertime when money's really tight. Things aren't quite like that for us now, but still traditionally this is something that I would like to learn and be able to pass down, and even make blankets for future grandchildren. Some ideas that I had for clients to be able to benefit from this would be, an array of people would have an interest in crocheting, like I said. My mom, grandmother, and my brother-in-law. You get a pretty big range of people right there that do crocheting. So not everybody, but a lot of people might have an interest in this. As far as therapy purposes for it would be to increase hand strength, dexterity, and even arm strength. As I was working on this, my arms, upper arms and lower arms, would get sore and tired. So building up upper body endurance is something that I would not have expected to come out of this, but it does. And and then there's this whole tangible piece of evidence from therapy. You get to go through therapy, and then you have this project that you actually completed, and you can look at this and be like, wow, I did this and I made it through therapy. So I think that there's some multiple benefits for being able to use something like this in therapy. And grading it up and down. So grading it down, my thought is using the bigger hooks with the bigger yarn, bigger projects, something simple like a scarf where it's a very straight stitch, simple edges. Grading it up would be something like using much smaller thread and a smaller needle and creating more intricate projects like lace and doily and stuff like that. Not something I am into trying quite yet. But there are definitely options to grading up and down in different ways. Plus, as far as therapy goes, they're able to bring in their own taste, their own color, their own texture preferences, and being able to make something that they would enjoy. That's all for now. Like I said, I apologize for these tight angles and these glares and stuff, but I hope you have enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing everybody else's videos. Thanks!